it comes to Isaiah and getting him as an early enrollee, how beneficial can that be for him, and what have you seen from him so far?
Tremendously beneficial, especially where our situation in terms of being able to get reps for him has been awesome. I mean, he's a really high level of intelligence for a young kid, like to be able to pick stuff up. Obviously, offense is still a little complex, and a lot of guys come from no huddle situations. Now, used to reading wristbands and all that stuff, so it's been really fun watching him. It's been huge, tremendously beneficial, and he's gotten a ton of reps, so it's been awesome. Really good.
Skill set wise, for people that haven't watched him before, just how would you describe
A little bit Jaylen-like. You never get put that like, it's not unfair to say that, but in terms of that, he's fast. Like, he's a 10-900 kid in high school, somewhere in that ballpark. So not Jason being fast, because that's really, really fast, but very fast. Jaylen's got a little more twitch, a little more suddenness to him, learn like that. Isaiah came in like 207 or 209 or so, a thicker type kid. Quick release, gets the ball out fast, can make pretty quick decisions, can make plays with his feet. So that's where kind of those similarities are. Jaylen's more loose, kind of like loose and all over and so on, but arm strength is really good for young kids, so that's why I kind of like in that ballpark, that type of skill set, I guess, and the different, but the skill set's kind of in the ballpark.
What do you tell a kid like that? He's obviously got Jaylen here, and then Cole's done some things here too. What do you tell him about setting goals for year one and things like that?
This is going to be hard. You always want to say, well, you don't come to someplace not to play, right? You don't come and say, I hope I go there and never not play. So you kind of want to say, get that expectation that you want to play, do whatever you can too. But because like some people used to say stuff like, hey, in the recruiting process, don't go there because they have two quarterbacks. Well, everybody does. Like, you're gonna compete everywhere you go. So I think that's one of those deals where I never said a kid, well, come here, you can play earlier. Come here, we only got one. You're going, or don't come because there's every year most schools are gonna recruit a quarterback in every class. So you tell them, set high expectations. Don't just keep on taking each play for what it's worth. You have to play at a time, one moment at a time, and see what happens.
Coach, with Jaylen, is he able to move around a little more?
Yes, but fun. He's doing a really good job. So we're just moving him at a perfect pace. It's been fun. It's good to see him out there. It's fun to see him actually throwing football again. So that's the fun part. So it's been really good. Really exciting to have him. So and he's you guys all know how he is mentally too. Really picks stuff up fast. So it's fun to have him out there, be able to go through everything. Whether he gets the rep live or not, he's still getting the rep. So learning the offense is huge.
How do you feel like the quarterbacks as a whole are adapting to Coach Grimes and his system?
Really good. I think it's been good. I think the thing is they know me, so there's zero. They don't have to adapt to that. They know who I am and how I am. And then Grimey's been good. He's kind of said, Z, I trust you and believe in you. Go ahead, go coach them. We'll add some stuff in. Tell me what you think they can and can't do. And I'm one of those guys that, just like I told you before with Andy, I'm like, I don't want to ever tell a coordinator you can't do that because the quarterback can't. I hope they can do it. Whatever you want, let your imagination go, and I'll let it go. So they've adapted really well. I think he's really good personality-wise for them. So it's been fun.
And what about your own relationship with him and kind of your co-offense?
It's been awesome. It's been really fun. Because I think it's unique. It's always scary. Like, he's the new one coming in, and we've all kind of been there. And the offense is going to stay kind of as is, obviously. But it's been a great. It's been really fun to meet him because I heard so much about him, and then be able to coach with him and his knowledge. I always say this. Here's what I've always said. It was great with Coach K, and I love Andy, and it's been awesome. And then we did a good job as a team, and then when he leaves, you hope the program keeps growing. Someone else new comes in, they usually add something to it. So that's what's really cool. It's awesome what we've done. Now you get a new guy, new voice, who's been to some great schools and great places, coach some really good, offenses, and then you can add to it. So it's been kind of exhilarating too, for I kind of add some new things. Oh, that's a good idea, and then you get a different view sometimes. Sometimes you have to see, oh, that's a good idea, a good thought. So it's been great.
What does Jaylen need to do, not recovery-wise, but developmentally-wise, to take his game to the next level?
I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've seen him play, and that's sad to say. I'm trying to think. That stuff. I always tell him to keep making great decisions, keep working on the decision-making process, and keep figuring out what you can and can't get away with, because he's so talented, and being able to know when you can go for it and cannot go for it, and kind of make that. I think that's always that last step. I always tell them this. I go, the Aaron Rodgers, the Brett Favre, the Josh Allen, the Mahomes, they all push that line, and they figure out what they can and can't get away with. And the great ones learn what they can't get away with before the game's actually played, and they don't make that. But you got to try some things. So keep trying to see what you can and can't do, and then hopefully keep minimizing turnovers and all that stuff. But I thought he did a pretty good job.
Snapping under center is something that Coach Grimes talked about.
Yes.
Doing a little bit of. Just for you as a quarterbacks coach, like, how does that change what you coach the guys?
I'm right in, man. At Minnesota, that's all I was. Not all. We did a lot of it, so I've done a lot of it. So where I've been, but Minnesota with Coach Kill, we were kind of more under initially, then became pistol and gun in a mixture, so it's easy to coach it. So it's easy to combine that, not be like, hey, I've done that thing for like 10 years, like whoa. And so it's been kind of fun to add to it. It's more stuff to do individually wise to kind of work the foot. It's so much fun to do the footwork wise. And then I always say this: the guys who ever want the potential at the next level, a lot of those teams still do a multitude of under and pistol and gun. So that's been really fun to kind of say, hey, we're going to keep helping you build as an overall quarterback. So it does take a little bit of time, but they really get excited about it. And then it helps with, we all know that you go under center, it helps with the play action stuff. Everybody always says pistol, gun, it's not as much play action as under. You guys wonder why the NFL guys are still, a lot of them go under a lot because so many colleges aren't, but it's the play action element and being able to do some different things in the run game to help us. That's been really fun. It's been really good.
When we talked to Lance earlier, he mentioned Mikey Paulie as a guy to watch.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him?
Good, and you guys know Mike being a Casey kid, and they won a state championship, and he's a multiple sport kid. You guys all know him, baseball and football kid. So it's been fun to watch his progress because when you go to college as a 50 baseball and football, well, you're not putting all into it yet, so you're losing a spring in Nebraska or whatever, playing baseball, however that goes. Then you come here, decide I'm going to do this. Then all of a sudden the coordinator changes all the stuff and takes a little bit of time to get it all. So I think he's finally settling in and figuring out, hey, this is what I want to do. And the big thing for him is just he's got a live arm and he's athletic and he's strong and he's a big kid, just to stay loose and not overthink things. What young guys do sometimes, overthink and try too hard to be too perfect instead of just go play. I've seen a lot of fun things. He's on the move, has been really fun to watch. And that's what's really good because he's an athlete. He's a big kid that's athletic too, that can move. So it's been really fun.
Coach mentioned Cole's aggressiveness. Is that similar to what you're talking about with Jaylen? Just finding where to walk that line. You don't want to shoot down, but
yes, that's a good way to say. That's a nice way to say it, isn't it? Coach, you want. But in practice, you have to live. I've always said this. It's not easy. Sometimes I feel bad for Lance sometimes, or for Grimy, because sometimes you kind of have to let them take chances to see what they can and can't do. So you're not going to lose. Like I've always said, I'm not losing practice. Like I don't think our defense is on our schedule, right, for our offense to play. So we're not going to lose a practice. I think every rep you gain something. Like there's never a bad rep in practice. Now the result's not always good. We all know that in terms of, that would have been bad, but it's not a game. That's the only way you can learn sometimes. So yeah, sometimes trying to do too much because he is such. And I think as you guys talk, you probably just hear him, and his dad too, they're such ultra competitive people. And he's so ultra, but like dude, you gotta turn, hey, let's say you bobble a snap. Don't try to, it's over. Let's minimize the damage, let's move on. And you can't always go and make a bad play better, sometimes the bad plays, but don't make it worse. So it is. And sometimes you see something like, can I make that throw? And you learn, well, no, you can't. But you can't know until you try it. So that's what's fun. So yeah, that's what we'll try to do.
Is that how you would prefer to have it, though? Have to reel them in rather than get them going?
You'd much rather have them go that way, that stuff. So it's a little bit like, Jason was too sometimes. Like, there was some, whoa, and you kept reeling, and then all of a sudden, after a while, you're like, hey, we're pretty good. So it's fun. But yeah, it's easy. It's me. I'm like, yeah, that's how you learn.